Hello friends. Today we are going to discuss about the DevOps in 25, how it is going to be for beginners and for advanced. That means the people who wants to start DevOps within 2025, how they have to prepare and what they have to learn to start DevOps in 20, and people who already there in DevOps and what they want to excel and what are the things they need to explore in 25. So let's discuss about this. So as a DevOps for beginners, you just understand the definition of a DevOps. As I said in my previous videos, DevOps is a culture and a practice. So in 25, we just want to define DevOps as three things. The one, collaboration. Number two, automation. Three, continuous improvement. So these are the three things to emphasize DevOps in 25. And also the main essential usage of DevOps in 2025 is, for example, if you can take it as a cloud native ecosystem and the AI integration and high speed deliveries. So that is coming in future. So let's understand what are the core concepts as we have in DevOps. So as you know, the first thing is plan. So what is a plan and how it will be working any organization? So when it comes into plan, I'll call it as a project management and also collaboration. So this advance, just keep it aside for some time and I'll come back to the end of the session. Okay. So here the project management, here comes the actual, we'll gather the requirements and team collaboration and task planning. That means, there is an application running in our environment, so it is running good and there are some issues arised. Okay, so to solve the issues, team will contact DevOps team and they will say like these are the issues we are facing, so that the development team or whoever that issue is facing, right, the project management team will come to us and they will raise a ticket. Okay, using a forum, so they will come to us. That forum name is called as Jira. Okay, so the Jira will have the different types of birds like agile, and we have the sprint plannings and backlog grooming. So they will create a ticket and they will assign this issue to the DevOps team. Next, this DevOps team has to take that issue and analyze it. So how they are going to do that one? That comes, so the project management collaboration will be there. So they will gather the requirements and they will drop an issue in the Agile boards. Okay. And the next one is, so we got the issues and what we have to do, and we are maintaining a code in our repository, as you know. So this application is already exist in our somewhere, like we are using some Git repository or Bitbucket, right? So what in the develop phase, what we have to do, user, a DevOps resource, what he has to do, he has to take the application from the main branch to his local. Suppose he is working on issue 1 and he is working on issue 2. There are two different types of issues, but the application code is same. So now what they have to do, they have to take the code into his local machine and start working on that. So this user took the branch and he created a branch called naming we can give it as 1 2 3, but this is not actually a naming we need to follow. We have to create a feature branch. So feature and his project, whatever the project name will come, will create here like this. And same thing, he will create his own feature branch and add his and issue ID. So whenever they do the changes and they identify what is the issue for that one, and they will create a feature branch and merge that feature branch to the main application branch. I hope you people are aware of how the Git will be working. If you have any questions on the Git also, please comment it. I will record a video for the Git also. So the feature branch changes were updated into the main branch, but here the changes, whatever were pushed, that will not merged into Git directly. Here we'll have an approval. So that is called PR review. So a person who has to review this change and he has to say, yes, you can proceed, then that change will happen to the main branch. This is something like stop and go process. So this user have the privilege and he will be like your manager or your supervisor to check your application changes are valid, and he will give the approval to merge your changes to the main branch. So this is about developing your code and fixing your issues. Next one is as in the pipeline. So once you develop this code, you have to do build, right? So build. So as you know, there will be some automating builds will be there, and we need to have some dependency management from Maven or Artifactory. We need to get the respective dependencies. So once your changes were done, if suppose if you are having a Java application, you can add with the Maven to get the respective dependencies and work on it. Or else if it is a Python, so depends upon your application, the build process will get little change. And then once your development code with the respect to dependencies, the Jenkins will, so here comes the main key player is Jenkins. I forgot that. So here we'll have Jenkins, and nowadays we are using GitHub Actions also in place of Jenkins. So I will do a recording on the GitHub Actions also soon. So this is a Jenkins build tools, which will take your base application and use the dependencies and create a build copy of your application. Next, once your build is successful, what is the next stage is testing. So here we have automated testers also, but as I am telling for the beginners, there will be unit testings and integrated testings. That means once your code got built, there are certain URLs will be used in the testing tools like JMeter, and there are so many testing tools were came into the picture in this 25. For now, I don't remember those right now, but JMeter will have that URLs. We can configure it and we can do the testing and confirm the results are expected for this phase. And then once your testing is done, what will happen here when you do the build, it will collect all the your Java application and your dependencies, as I said, and we can do one more thing. We can create a Docker file and update with this Java application changes and dependencies in the Docker file. And then, once you create a Docker file, you can and run the Docker file. So that will, once you build it, it will be created as a image. And if you run it, it will be running as a container. Okay. So if you just want to build it, yes, you can build it. And then you can push this image to your Artifactory. So that is comes under release. Here we can store and share your application, containerized application. Okay. So we call it as release management. So here comes the, Docker Hub to keep your images or Artifactory. So once the release is completed, the last step is to deploy. So the deployment will be like either it will be your Docker cluster or Kubernetes cluster. Here comes the question. Yes, Venkat, there is a question here like before doing the deployment, if there is any issues, what I have to do? Okay. So in this testing, okay, let me draw a diagram for you to explain it better. Okay. This is the theory of this one. I will create one diagram for you. For example, first one is plan. Next is code. We'll have build, test, release, deploy. So when the testing is happening here, if there is any issues here, we can make a call out from here to code stating like, hey, there is a issue that your the code whatever you sent here to this testing, that's not working. Imagine this is a version 1. Now what will happen, the code, the DevOps people will fix this again and they will build it and they will send the another version. We call it as V2. Again this will go further releases and then it will get deployed. Even in the deployment also, in the deployment phase it will go in a two fashion. That means first it will go into testing cluster. Once it is successful here, then only that will be go to the production one. So this deployment, as I said, like you can use Docker Swarm cluster or Kubernetes cluster, two node or a single node, depends upon your application load. So this is about the complete DevOps workflow. And then finally, we can add one more thing here. That is the main important here. That is monitor. Okay. So monitoring your application. Once the application is got deployed here, your application should get monitored with the tools like Grafana, Prometheus, Splunk. So Grafana will use as a dashboards and Prometheus is our system monitoring and CO. This is for your Kubernetes or Docker monitoring. Splunk for observability. So I just want to recap it again. So for your understanding. So this is the DevOps lifecycle and as you know the plan. is the main core, and then your code will be your base code of the application. Once you take the code and you will build it, and then it will go for testing. If there are any issues, the testing thing will go to the code one, and the DevOps engineer will again fix it and send a new version. If that version 2 is validated, no issues, then it will go for the release, and then the release will move the another image, the version 2 working image, and then it will go for the deployment phase. That will get deployed into your Kubernetes or Docker Swarm cluster. Now, initially I said one thing, right? There are, this is your basic, I mean, initial DevOps right now, the core DevOps which we are following. What is the future of DevOps? Okay, that will come into the advanced phase. So in this advanced phase, here comes the two things. One is, machine learning. Second one is artificial intelligence. So these two are going to be added in 25. Okay. And whoever don't know about this ML and AI, no problem. So it's just a basic understanding. If you know, that's better, because when you onboard into a project which they are using ML and AI, yes, if you know the basic understanding of what it is, yes, it will be helpful. Mainly, you might heard there are ML ops and AI ops more frequently nowadays. So it's nothing but here we'll have the development people, and here we'll have machine learning people and artificial intelligence. So these two will be added to your operations. As you know, ops, what is ops will do? Ops will monitor and alarm. So the AI and ML is going to help the ops team to make the system to be healthy, and also the machine learning models, like models of this machine learning and artificial intelligence is mainly using for the observability. So I don't want to drag this one here. I will create another video for understanding this basic ML and AI ops concepts. Okay, for now this is about the DevOps 25 for beginners and for the advanced. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and thanks for watching.